Well, this is going to be a very interesting class. This is a very strange class. Everybody that's normally here isn't here, and brand new people that I've never seen before are. When I've gone about this far back in the book. So you walking in like this far back in the book.
You guys must be really smart or something.
And,
yeah.
and if you're here and you know, it's about doubt or fear or anything like that, I always tell people that come in my class for the first time, the only guidelines to the my name is Earl Purdy, and the only guidelines to the class is that you don't have to believe the ideas. You don't have to accept them. You don't have to welcome them. Some of the ideas might seem hard to believe. Some of the stuff that you hear is gonna you're gonna want to judge it a lot. But what happens is that if you use the ideas, then you will see that the ideas are true. And the purpose of the Course of Love, which is this class, which is still like an extension of some other material that I do call A Course in Miracles, is that it's about joining the heart to the mind, and then also getting in touch with our ability to get inner guidance, or what you call divine guidance, or spiritual guidance, whatever word you want to use. But this isn't a religious class, and it's not a religious group. And so I just want to be clear about that. That what we want to do, so what I'm thinking is that since we are here, and we're a special group that's here, that I'm going to pay particular attention to what it is we're covering tonight, because I know it must be deep.
Yes.
You know. And so I'm going to start out by doing a little bit, what Spirit told me to do was to do a little bit of a review, in the sense of, so far there are some questions that the Course of Love is asking us to ask ourselves. And and it took me a while to really get that the word new means different. That when I say I'm ready to hear something new, it really means I'm ready to hear something different, right? So here's one of the first things from the Course of Love, and it's a paragraph that's called The Full Life. And one of the first things it says is, and I got it in a question and answer form. It's like, what is one of the hardest things to believe? Like no matter what you think you're going through right now in your life, no matter what seems to be happening right now, what would be one of the hardest things to believe? And the Course of Love says that effort is not called for. It's one of the hardest things for us to believe, is that effort is not called for. How can you receive your heart's desires? The way that you can receive your heart's desires is by accepting the truth that you say you believe. That's coming from something greater than yourself. It's like if I say I believe in, for instance, the path called A Course of Love or A Course in Miracles, then if I'm going to receive my heart's desire, then I've got to accept the new way of looking at things that I'm being taught, so that I can get the new result. So how can you receive your heart's desires? It's time for me to accept some new words, to accept some new truth other than what I might be telling myself right now. How do I know that what I'm telling myself right now might not be the ultimate thing for me to be telling myself? You can tell by your result. What is my result? My result is either going to be I'm experiencing more lightness or more heaviness, more love or more fear, or more joy or more pain. So I can tell by my result whether or not the truth that I've accepted for myself is really the truth that I should be accepting for myself, because at the very least, no matter what I'm going through, the one thing that I have control over is how I see it. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what's happening in your life. is what the one thing that you absolutely have control over is how you are seeing it. And so the Course of Love and the Course of Miracles are just new ways of seeing it, some different ways of seeing it that can be rejected or can be accepted. And how willing you are to accept the truth that will give you joy is in direct proportion to how much you don't want to suffer anymore. So if you're punishing yourself, or you feel guilty, or you think you don't deserve to be happy, then the person is not going to hear anything that's going to make them feel better. You can talk all night and they're not going to hear it, because they've already decided that the way to handle the situation that they're going through is to feel bad in some way, to just be unhappy. So if they've already made a decision about how they're going to heal themselves, which is in a lot of cases, they've already made up their mind that right now I'm just going to be sad and depressed and unhappy about whatever's going on. Well, if they've done that, then anything that would make them feel good, they have to exclude it from their consciousness or their mind and don't even hear it. So when you want to be mad, you exclude everything that would make you feel peace. And when you want to feel peace, you start excluding everything from your mind that would make you feel conflict. So let's say I'm in a relationship and I feel like I never have relationships that work out for me, and my relationships more or less suck. All right? Then if I feel like that, then I'm going to try to use my next relationship to make up for what the other relationships haven't given me. Because this relationship is going to work, the other ones didn't. So what I'm going to automatically start doing is looking at the new person in terms of what the old person did or didn't do. So the truth is, I'm not really having a relationship with the person that's there. I'm having a relationship with the person that's not there. Most people are having relationships with people who aren't there. That's why they're not talking. Hello? I'm a human being. That's right. Y'all looking at I'm a regular person too. I'm just a person that's tired of the crap that I do to myself to keep me from being happy and loving and trusting and open. I refuse to live my life as if I have to be afraid of everybody and look at everybody with suspicion and doubt. I refuse to believe that what created us didn't want us to be happy or to love each other, to reach out to each other. And whether anybody else on the planet does it, I am going to do it. I'm going to allow that to happen in my life so that I can experience it. So the first thing I have to do is stop blaming anyone else at any level for anything that I'm going through or anything that I'm experiencing and anything that I'm feeling. That's the first step. The next step is for me to recognize that I determine the way that I see things, and the way that I see things is determine the way that I feel. Because I'm giving everything I see all the meaning it has for me. So if I'm not feeling good right now, I got to take responsibility that the reason why I'm not feeling good right now is because of something I'm telling myself right now. Everybody with me? Does that make sense? Is what I said make any sense? Okay, like right now, your experience of this group is strictly being created by you. You're the one that's determining the meaning that everything that I'm saying to you has for you. You're the one that's determining how you feel about everything that's happening right now. So all of your feelings right now are coming from your interpretations of this moment. So I have to always remember when I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you, I don't really know what you're thinking. I don't really know what you're feeling. I really don't know what you're believing. All I'm aware of is what I'm projecting on you based on how I'm feeling right now. And that I'm dealing with you as if you are the way I'm interpreting you to be. So I need to recognize that happiness does not require me to define my happiness, to put a name on my happiness before it can be mine. The truth teaches that one of the things that slows down our happiness is that as soon as we define what it is, then it can't come to us in the way that would be the easiest to get to us, because we've already made up our mind how it should come. And if it doesn't come that way, we're not even open to it. So the happiness could get to you from this direction. You've decided it's coming from this direction, and so the happiness can't get to you simply because you've already defined it, and it might not be the fastest way for it to get to you. So the next thing the Course of Love told us was that happiness doesn't require you to define it. In other words, it's okay for me to not know what would make me happy. And me not knowing what would make me happy might be the fastest way for happiness to get to me, because since I don't know, then I don't have a predefined idea about how it should be coming, so it could come to me quicker. For instance, if I've decided my happiness is going to come through you, and then actually my happiness might be coming through him, then he's trying to shoot the blessing out to me. I'm so busy believing it's supposed to be coming to you, you don't even want to give it to me. You don't really like me. So, and then I'm going to try to change your mind and get you to like me. But the truth is, my happiness could be coming through my brother right over here. But if I go, I don't know what my happiness is, then I'm not keyed into it having to be you, or him. So it can get to me faster because I'm not blocking it. So miserable people should stop trying to define what makes them happy. Because the reason why they're not happy right now is because they've made up their mind about what should be making them happy, and it's not happening. That's why the unhappy person is unhappy. It's not happening the way their script that they've written for themselves about how it should be happening. So the Course is telling us, do you know that happiness doesn't require you to put a name on it before it could be yours? So I'm willing to allow my happiness to come to me any friggin' way that it wants to, starting right this moment.
Amen.
Okay, anybody else?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Whatever you're dealing with in this life, it's a lesson that your soul is learning, and it's a powerful lesson, and it's a beautiful lesson. What we are all, according to the Course in Miracles and the Course of Love, are being driven to is to get to that point where we start turning to God, until we start turning to a greater power, when we start getting in touch with something greater than ourselves. So things that seem insurmountable are always the things that your soul has set up to get you to get deeper into your faith than ever before. And so it's so much going on right now in the world that people are seeing things not working that they thought used to work, or they did it by the book and they still end up not being happy, that it is causing everyone to start to ask and to question, where is my happiness and my safety and my peace really located? Because I know now it certainly isn't in the economic system, and certainly isn't in the politicians, and it certainly isn't, it's like everybody's seeing that the system doesn't work. And the beauty of everybody seeing that the system doesn't work is that it's going to turn them within, or it's going to get them to open their minds up to another way for the happiness and the peace to come. So if that's happening in your individual life right now, where it looks like you're dealing with things that's more intense than you've ever done before, the reason why it's happening is to get you to surrender to God. To get you to turn your attention inward to your own divine self. To get you to that point, Raj, to get you to that point where you aren't trying to do it alone, and you're not trying to do it by yourself anymore. Your plans have to fail for you to finally be able to have things come to you without effort.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, okay. It's your plans that's making it hard for your happiness and the solution to get to you. So it's not until a person really sees that their plans will not work, do not work, and never will work, that they really open themselves up to the plan that does work. So it's almost like human failure is necessary in order for us to finally get to the point that we'll let ourselves be healed. So thank God that nothing that wouldn't make you permanently happy will ever last. So any plan we come up with that's not about our permanent happiness and joy will fail, because we deserve more than what we give ourselves. I'm just saying stuff that this stuff is saying, okay? Remember now, you don't have to believe me. Most people I teach, I don't see no more anyway. Okay, so it's not even like I'm trying to hang on to anybody. Okay, that's not my ministry. Okay, so it's like people go through my life, and because I have so much forgiveness that I have to do with myself. And the more self-forgiveness you need to do, then the more people pass through your life to give you an opportunity to forgive yourself for the things that you've done. So you really need a lot of forgiveness, and you need to let go of a lot of stuff. You become a teacher. Because when you're a teacher, you're
Yeah.
guaranteed to see people. A lot of people come through your life. But when you're a counselor, and everybody that comes through is bringing you something in yourself that needs to be healed. That's the gift that they're giving you.
Wow.
That's right.
You know, so that's why you're such a blessing to me, and it's no accident to me that this is the last class of this year, and I feel completely different inside. I've had things that happened to me this year that have changed me, and so as soon as I change on the inside, my classes always change. And anybody that's been around here like Cheryl, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. So I can always tell when I've shifted, because when I shift, this shifts. Now I know I had started all over, and when you start all over, a lot of times you start all over small. Because now the people got to meet you where you are right now. So I know that everybody in this room have reached their limit in some area. I know that they really are ready for a change. I know that they're mystified about some things they really want to get clear about. I know that they're tired of superficial, unreal things, and they want to get down to business, and they're tired of messing around in some ways. I know that the people that are sitting up here now are really ready to be loved and really have peace, even though they don't really know what it really means and what it really is. I know there's an openness here because there's an openness in me. I don't even have to ask you. I know that's true because if you're here, we have something in common. That's why we showed up in each other's life. It really wasn't because somebody invited you to come. The reason why you're here is because it's by divine appointment. You know, that we're here because we already decided before we came here that we were going to meet and reaffirm that this next year we want to move into our joy and our connection to light and God in a way we've never done before.
Yes.
That we're tired of the old, we reached our limit and we want something new. And we're here tonight to support each other in that new life that we want to have. That's what's really here. So our instructions are to realize that, do you know that the first thing you need to do to have happiness is stop trying to put a name on it? Are you not ready to listen to a new voice? Are you not ready to listen to a new voice? Aren't you like tired of listening to that same old voice
Tired.
saying the same old stuff? Now, you can always tell when you listen to the voice that's trying to steer you wrong, because that voice will always tell you whatever you're going through is somebody else's fault. And whenever you hear that voice that's trying to convince you that you're the victim of everything and everybody around you, you're listening to the voice that keeps you weak and unaware of your spiritual power and your power that comes from God in love, according to this that we don't have to believe. So I have to catch myself. Every time I feel myself getting ready to say, I'm going through this because I'm black. I'm going through this because I'm in Denver. Or I'm going through this, whatever. I'm going through this because of what my dad was like. And I'm going through this because of I'm going through this. It's like every time I catch myself now, whenever I catch my mind doing that, I immediately realize, oh, okay, you're trying to keep the problem. Yeah, you're not ready to let the pain go yet. You're not ready to let the problem go yet. How do you know you're not ready to let the problem go yet? Because you're still removing yourself from the problem. And as long as you're removing yourself from the problem, you're a person that don't want the problem solved. So as long as your mind is just trying to figure out who needs to change besides you, then you know you're going to keep the situation you're going through. And that's how you can tell. I can always tell what situation is not getting ready to change in my life and what situation is getting ready to change. The situation that's getting ready to change is the one that I'm taking responsibility for creating and experiencing. The situation that's not getting ready to change is the one where I still feel like I've got to define what's going on, and I'm the victim of that person or this situation that's going on right now. So let me throw it out to you. What do you think? What do you feel? What's going through your mind? Can I answer any question? Can I clarify anything? Because you certainly don't have to agree. Wouldn't be, it's like I wouldn't be a good teacher if I thought you had to agree with me. Anybody hear something that they agreed with?
Everything.
Tell me one or two things.
Well, it's just funny because each little topic or whatnot we touched on, I've just dealt with each one in succession over the last 6 months, specifically, directly, but there's no gray area there yet. So with my relationship and whatnot, and each one of those things are true, man. You know, if like everything from the projecting, you know, like that's how you're feeling, and I'm glad that I understood it the way I did, and that's just kind of confirmation for me, though. So yeah.
What's your name, brother?
Adam.
Good to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Have we met before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've
thought
been
we
here, I've been here a couple times.
Yeah.
Upstairs, not down here.
Okay, cool. I thought your face looked familiar. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So by what you just said, you just told me that you are really ready to have all those patterns change so you can be happy now, because you just said what a person says when they're ready for the healing to occur. Congratulations.
Well,
Yeah. Really. You can. I'm telling you. You know, who do you think is easier to be in a relationship with? Somebody that takes responsibility for what they're experiencing, or to be in a relationship with somebody who always says it's your fault that I'm going through whatever I'm going through right now, and if you change, I'd be happy. Now, which one of those people you think gonna be the easiest one to hang out with? Okay, exactly. So the first thing you start doing when you start loving yourself is you start paying attention to how much the other person that you're spending time with is assuming any responsibility for what they're going through. And all of us are loved, and all of us are not alone, and all of us have help available to us, and all of us are calling for love no matter what we're going through right now. So whatever it is that you're going through right now that may be causing you some pain or it's some type of a challenge, that is from the Course of Love and Course of Miracles perspective, that is your call for God, your call for love. It is your call for help. And the Course says if you will turn that painful situation into a prayer, then every time you feel bad, it becomes a request for the help that you want from God. So no matter what you're feeling, you're calling for the assistance of the universe to support you. So rather than just saying, I got a really bad backache, I really should be saying, my call for God has taken the form of a backache. I really got a call for love, and it's taken the form of a backache. I'm really calling for help, and it's in the form of a backache. So every time my back aches, it is my prayer for help. And nobody feels guilty about praying. So just the act of seeing it as a prayer will make you feel more innocent. And if you feel more innocent, then you will be healed faster, because all pain comes from some form of unconscious guilt, according to this stuff that we don't have to believe. If there's some form of unconscious guilt going on, you don't even have to know what it's about. All you have to do is ask for another way to look at it. So it isn't about going back through my childhood to find out what it is that I'm feeling guilt about. It's really about remembering the present and knowing that I could get another way to look at my guilt that would dissipate it right now. I'm only going to want to get rid of it if I feel like I deserve to be happy. I'm not going to get rid of guilt that I believe I deserve. So that's why classes that are steeped in the idea of sinlessness and innocence very seldom have as many people as a class that's about telling you that you're sinful and you're guilty and you're bad. There will never be a cast of thousands usually hearing you're innocent. But if you tell people that they're guilty, and you tell them that they're sinful, and you tell them that they're bad, and they already believe that about themselves anyway, then they believe you're telling them the truth, so they can trust you. But if I feel like I'm not innocent, if I feel like I am bad, and you tell me I'm innocent, and you tell me I'm a beautiful person, I'm going to think you are lying to me, and that you're trying to deceive me in some way. So I'm more afraid of the person that tells me I'm innocent and I deserve love, and I'm more suspicious of them than the person that tells me I'm no good and I'm guilty and I'm bad. Isn't that wild? A person talking like me will arouse much more suspicion in people, and all I'm saying is that you're innocent and you're powerful and you deserve to be happy, than anybody that you would be sitting in front of that would be telling you all the things about you that need to be changed because something's wrong with you.
How do you pray for, to switch that over? Because, sometimes I feel like I'm allowed to be innocent and guiltless, and then other times, I don't know if it's an addiction or if it's what it is, but how do you ask for that to go away? Well,
there's a series of prayers. The Course in Miracles workbook lessons and there are 365 of them, are specifically designed to give you things to say to yourself when you need to change your perception in order to change it. Keep in mind that it's really not going to be you that heal you, but when you say these things to yourself that you're learning, then that's a symbol of your willingness to be healed. And it's giving you another way to look at it while you're in the process of letting the Holy Spirit or your higher self heal you. It's so cool to get to the point that you begin to recognize that you're not alone, and therefore you didn't create yourself, so therefore you can get help that comes from something greater than you. So what you want to do is simply ask for another way to look at it without thinking that you should necessarily feel better in that moment. Like if I'm feeling guilty and I'm feeling like I'm just a crock of doo-doo, and I say, I'm determined to see me different. I want another way to look at this. Perhaps there's another way to look at this. My asking for another way to look at it is all that's required of me. That doesn't mean I'm going to, in that instant, automatically feel like jumping and skipping down the street. What I just did was ask for help. Just like if I was sick and I went into the emergency room and I asked them to help me, I still got the ailment when I'm asking them to help me. But by asking them to help me, I'm now allowing myself to be healed. So when you first ask to be helped, it doesn't mean you're going to necessarily feel better in that instant any more than when you go to a hospital because you're sick and you ask the doctor to help you, you don't still have that cramp that's going on right there. So always remember that you're just being asked to have a little bit of willingness to see it another way. And the way that you show that it's not just lip service is by taking a moment to ask for help. You got to do something to show that you have faith in what you're trying to do. Remembering to ask is the symbol of your faith, that you believe you're not alone and that help is available to you. So we're being led to the point that we're willing to ask for help.
Thank you.
You see what I mean? Yeah.
The asking is action.
The action is what's being required right now. The quickest way to make a change is to get a spiritual practice. The slowest way to make a change is to think that you're going to sit up by yourself and just analyze it and figure it all out and make it up as you go along. Anybody else? Anything that they heard that they agreed with?
I had an experience while you were talking of, why my weekend went as it did. And I went back to my parents, who are still alive and healthy, and I'm very fortunate, and spent Christmas with them. And my mother writes a Christmas letter every year. And I decided Christmas Day night to go back over all these Christmas letters, because it's like a family diary, and starting in 1964. And there was a on every few years my mother would go, well, and I think now she's finally settled down. Talking about me. And she's finally settled down. And I, plus all of the history, of the divorce and all the stuff that I went through, because on every child, she does this for every child, and she's very blunt. And so that night, I got the worst flu. I was so sick. I can't even tell you how sick I got. And when you were talking about this, I was thinking, oh my God, am I releasing all that guilt from, what your parents think of you and what, they tell you and what, all that old programming, to go right back into it and really immerse yourself into it and realize that, that's not my life anymore, thank God. But, it's sort of, when you were talking about that, it's sort of like, okay, these are things that happen to you along the way in your spiritual path of, learning.
That's what's so good about going. It's like when you get. It's like when I just visited my family recently. I visited my son and visited my daughter and my grandkids, and then saw my sisters and brothers and it always feels like I'm walking onto a movie set.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it feels like, because all of a sudden I go from just being me, expressing myself the way I am, see myself the way I am. You know, they don't live with me. We haven't lived with them since I was 17 years old. So I'm still to some degree locked in however they perceived me when I was 17 years old. And I was noticing that's what everybody do. They deal with you as if you were the person that they lived with or that they knew when they were growing up. And so all of a sudden I became all these different roles. I became an uncle, and I became a cousin, and I became a father, and I became a grandfather, and I became an ex-lover, and I was watching all of that. And the truth was, nobody really knew who I was. The only thing they really knew was their projections of me based on their past experience of me. And so it made me realize that the people who actually knew me the best and who really knew me the most were the people who were in my present reality. That I realized that the people who are in my present reality are ultimately the most important people in my experience, because whatever love or help or truth that's going to get to me, it's only going to get to me through the people that's in my present. It's not going to get to me and the people that I'm not around. So I realized I was overlooking all of the blessings that I could receive from the people that were in my life, because I was too busy focusing on the people who weren't in my physical life anymore, with my expectations of what I thought they should be doing for me or what I should be doing for them. So I was missing so much of the gifts and the love and the help that I could be receiving in my life right now, because I was not valuing the people who are in front of me as much as the people who aren't. Like in this moment, out of all the places in the universe I could be, I'm sitting up here with you all, and y'all sitting up here with me. Do you really think that's an accident? Out of all the places you could be tonight on the planet in the universe, that we just happen to end up here together?
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. And notice that each one of us has a different reaction to this moment. Like you say, like you say, I'm not mad, you're happy about it. Maybe some people aren't happy about it. Maybe some people wish they were somewhere else. Maybe, so whatever is, but everybody's having a different reaction to it, right? So what is it that's giving all of us, 10 or 12 different reactions to this very moment? It's got to be whatever you're telling yourself right now. And that's what Spirit keeps on trying to get me to understand. Purdy, you're not going to be any happier than the meaning you give to this moment. Your happiness is not going to show up until you start giving all of it some new definitions and descriptions than the descriptions you're using. You either got to start seeing this as everything that's happening to you right now as being for your own best interest, and you don't really know what your own best interest is, and it's all in divine order, and it's all serving some greater good, whether I realize it or not, or I can look at it like things aren't going the way I think they ought to go. I feel sad about this. I want this to. I'm really just seeing that love wants to get to me. I'm the one that's in the way. Love wants to get to me. I'm the one that's in the way. So I got to give love so that I can receive it. I still wait too much for the things to happen to me without me giving it first. Like I want people to be friendly to me, but am I friendly? I want people to be affectionate and loving, but am I the one that never hugs anybody in 1,000 years? I mean, what? Yeah, it's like. What is it that I keep expecting to happen that I'm not giving? And then he's saying right here, are you not ready to listen to a new voice? And this is a new voice. What we're hearing is a new voice. And it says, do you know that this course of love is nothing but a trigger?
Right.
So these words are meant to trigger you to know that the time is now and the time has come. The time is now and the time has come. Can you let the worries of today leave your mind? Can you let the disappointments of yesterday go and be no more? Can you let the planning for the future cease? Can you be still and know yourself? Can you let the worries of the day leave your mind? Can you let the worries of today leave your mind? What can you let the worries of the day leave your mind? Can you let the disappointments of yesterday go and be no more? Can you do it? Can you let the planning for the future cease? That's always a powerful one. Can you be still and know yourself? The Course in Miracles says that the reason why people stay so busy is so that they won't hear what they think for real. And if they stay really, really, really busy with non-essential things, then they'll never question what they're going through and what's happening and stop and say, where do I really go for happiness? Where do I really go for protection? So when you find yourself being super duper duper busy, it might be cool for you to ask yourself, what is it that you're running away from, and what is it that you don't want to know that you're thinking right now? So if you're really, 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 really busy, it's a possibility you're running away from yourself, according to this. You're trying to keep yourself from really hearing what you're really thinking. Deep. How many of y'all are really, really busy? That you always got something to do. You know, you have to schedule a bathroom break 2 weeks in advance before you can even go to the toilet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm busy. Yeah. It says, do you know that the next step is the step of living from love? Do you know that there is no need to sit about and wait for the time of celebration to come? Do you know that happiness is a decision and is not a condition? That happiness is a decision. Like, in other words, I had to get that I'm not going to truly be happy until I just decide that I'm going to feel good right now. Like right now I got to decide, you know what? This is a cool moment. I'm really going to feel cool about being with you all in this moment. This is what's going on right now. Hey, y'all. See, I got to decide rather than go, you know what? If I won the lottery and then I got a chance to go to Hawaii, then I'd be happy. See, that's the trick. That's what Spirit is trying to get me to understand. That, no, if I don't love myself, I'll still get bitten by a shark in Hawaii. You know, it's like, it's really about me deciding that I deserve happiness and that I'm going to choose to feel happy. And then out of that joy, let the situation be created. Let the physical situation come out of my joy. Instead of thinking I'm going to create the physical situation, then I'm going to make myself feel joyous about it. The truth says it's just the opposite. Purdy, get in a joyful state of mind, get in a gratitude state of mind, and out of that gratitude state of mind, there are some events are going to manifest that you will be grateful for. But it's coming out of your gratitude first. My mind had exactly the opposite. I'm going to create this situation, or somebody else is going to create this situation, then I'm going to feel grateful for it, and then I'm going to feel good. But the situation's got to come before my gratitude. The truth is saying, no, let the situation come out of your gratitude. So I'm grateful for you. Because just by you sitting here, I'm being prompted to say this to myself and to hear it, regardless of whether anybody else is hearing it. So I'm grateful to you just because of what you're helping me remember right now that I need to remember for me to be healed. And if there is some condition within you that you think you really would like to get healed, it would be really great to put yourself around people who tell you, I love you, I appreciate you. I love you, I appreciate you. You're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're innocent, you deserve to be happy. I'm serious. And if nobody's saying that, tell them to say it. To write it down and say, would you read this?
Just write it down and read it back to me.
Would you read this back to me? You are the handsomest guy that ever lived. You are the hottest thing that ever was. I think you're the cutest, most debonair guy I've ever been.
All right.
To the debonair. You debonair.
Yeah, well.
You debonair.
Okay, that's
okay. In other words, it's okay to ask for what you want. It's like I used to wait for people to just automatically kind of get it, that maybe I want you to say this to me. And then I went, wait a minute, I could just ask. And if you don't know what to say, then I'll tell you. Because in order to be healed, the more conscious I am of love, the quicker my situation to be healed. And if I'm unhappy, and if I'm angry or broke or sick or whatever I'm going through, it's because I'm not aware of how loved I am, and I'm not loving myself at the level that I should or deserve to be loved. And that's okay, because there are people around you who can answer that call for love. Because that's what you're saying. You're saying, I want love, I'm broke. I want love, I'm sick. I want love, I'm bored. I want love, I'm on a job that I hate. I want love, I want love. I want to know myself as love. I want to experience myself as love. I want to experience myself as joy. We've gone as far as we can go, according to this. We've gone as far as we can go by ourselves. The next phase of the journey is going to call for a we space instead of an I space. It's the I, me. That level of consciousness is done.
Yeah.
is fried, and everybody that's on that level of consciousness is going to be dealing with one type of a challenge after another type of a challenge. Not because they're being punished, but because when you choose to do things on your own without God, without your brothers and sisters, you're choosing to struggle. It's the same decision. That is your choice to struggle. It's your choice to do it by yourself. So anything that's real, according to this stuff that we don't have to believe, anything that's real, it's something that it takes two to do. We got to join. So the reason why I'm doing this, y'all, is so I can hear this and remember this. I'm going to keep saying it because I'm in a world where, I don't know what, but Brian Williams didn't say that to me tonight when I was looking at the NBC Evening News. And I swear Diane Sawyer didn't say none of this stuff that I'm talking about right now. I didn't, and Jay Leno, haven't heard a word that meant anything come out of his mouth in the last 15 years. You know what I'm saying? You know, as a matter of fact, they go out of their way to say stuff that doesn't mean anything. That's the whole point of the shows. Is that you better not say anything that has any substance or any meaning. You know, if you do, you going right off the air. You know, what's the most struggling network around? Well, right now it's Oprah's network. But what's Oprah's network all about? Positive thinking and positive this and positive that. She came out and get 136,000 people to watch the one show. It's got to do with love and empowerment. You know what I'm saying? But you chop off a few heads, you get 20 million folks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on now. You know it's funny. It's the truth. It's hilarious. We are hilarious. We are hilarious. Like we wonder why we're going through the things that we go through, and we constantly feed ourselves non-stop fear, and then wonder why we're afraid. It's deep. It's deep, man. Anybody else got anything they want to say?
I do.
Okay.
Two things.
Okay.
First, it's been over 30 years since I've made it through a Christmas, you know, hearing Christmas carols, not getting tears in my eyes, and, you know, just kind of tightening up and closing down just to get through it. And for some reason, I've been saying to friends and family, I don't know what happened here. Since before Thanksgiving to Christmas, it's like I'm doing okay. I'm not doing the pain that I'm holding on to, been holding on to all these years.
And why do you think you feel more peace now?
Well, I'm going to go with Laurel here. that purging thing that I was doing in the beginning of the month, even though it was absolute dry heaving sometimes, I was just like, this has got to be the old garbage. The guilt that you're talking about, that I've been trying to identify for 30 years, that I can't. Can't identify it.
Right. But you could look at it differently, which is what you've done.
But I don't know where the change happened. Like I said, I can't
and
tell you what day.
you got the results, so you know you changed your mind.
I'm just going. I'm listening to a Christmas carol, and I'm not crying here.
Cool.
Where? Why? This is weird.
It's because of what you've been doing. I mean, you've been changing. I mean, you've been coming around and working on yourself and trying to change your perception. I know for at least a year that I've known you, at least that long. So you're actually getting the results of what you've actually been focusing on.
Well, and I have been all this year looking at the fact that I choose these things, and the backaches and the pain and these things. It's like I tell myself all the time, you're bringing this on yourself.
But don't do it in a way that's like some people when they take that, when they say stuff like that, they use it to beat themselves up. You know what I'm saying? It's like to say, well, I'm the one that's creating what I'm drawing to me right now. Well, if it's something that you don't like, it's real easy to start beating yourself up about it. Instead of looking at it as, this is my call for love. This is my desire to connect with God. This is my desire to connect with Source.
I think that's what I'm finally hearing, the real thing, because also in this month of December, things that have been happening, it's been pointed out to me, why didn't you ask for help? I could have helped you with this. I could have done this for you. And it's, you know, the deer in the headlight. Never occurred to me to ask for help.
Right.
Never entered my mind, you know, thought I had to get together to do what I needed to do to accomplish this, and
powerful realization. Powerful realization. The Course in Miracles says that we believe that asking is taking.
and then I end up beholding.
That's why people don't want to ask. They feel like asking something of you is taking something from you. If I ask you to give me a ride, it's like I'm taking something from you. So asking is not something that people do easily because of the way that we perceive it. And that's what you find out is just what you said. In the end, you get, oh, you mean I could have just asked for help? I could just ask, you know. Right, and then if you really know you got something going on really intense, then you know you're gonna probably have to ask more than once. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said I wanted to see things another way one time. And all of a sudden my whole perspective of reality didn't shift. Okay, thousands of times a day I'm telling myself something is fearful and not true. I say the truth half-heartedly one time, and I expect it should work instantly the way that I want it, or it doesn't work at all. You know, instead of saying, okay, I'm feeling fear and doubt right now, I need to ask for help. I'm feeling fear and doubt right now, I need to ask for help. I'm feeling some fear right now, I need to ask for help. We go, I asked for help this morning. No, you feel, okay, how do you feel right now? Well, right now, I don't feel some peace. Well, then that means right now you need to ask for another way to look at it. How do you know? Because of the way you feel. And the way you felt told you that you were beginning to see things differently because you weren't affected by the Christmas holidays. It still was another Christmas holidays. Now, I wonder who changed. I wonder who was it whose perception must have changed, because I still heard a lot of jingle bells and stuff going on, you know what I'm saying? So the same jingle bells that used to make you cry didn't affect you at all. So the jingle bells didn't change. What changed? You changed, right? I got on the elevator the other day. This young lady got on the elevator with me, and she said to me, she looked at me and she went, how was your Christmas? How was your holidays? And I said, well, they were great. I had, it was a lot of love. I had a great experience. And I said, well, how was yours? And she burst out crying. It was miserable. It was unhappy for her. And I just felt so much love and compassion for her in that moment, because she gave me an authentic expression of how she was feeling in the moment, and I was supposed to be a total stranger. And she was just, she just, I didn't enjoy mine. It's like, and I've been having that happen to me more and more with so-called strangers. Just immediately we go to this, because we're not really different anyway. We're all the same. We all out here trying to make it and trying to be loved and trying to be safe. It's funny how we all think we're like different or something. And so when I meet people who just automatically just treat me like I am safe and I am them, so she gave me an incredible healing. And by the time we got down to the lobby, I told her, I said, I'm going to be surrounding you in light and love for the new year, and I feel the new year is going to be a whole different experience for you, and that's what I want for you. And she said, thank you. So that was a holy instant, as the Course would call it. That was a healing instant. That was one of the most sacred, powerful things I experienced over the entire holiday. Was a real, authentic connection with a sister that I didn't even know in the elevator. And when we get to that point in these classes where we take our mask off and we take that part of us off that's pretending that it's okay when it's about to go to pieces about something, and become vulnerable with each other and become open with each other, that's when we're going to be healed, because that's when we're found to know we're not alone and that we are safe. You don't really know until you expose yourself, until you become vulnerable. And so the ego part of you will say, I'll be vulnerable once you prove to me that I can trust you. And the truth is that the trust from the outside isn't going to come until you have some trust on the inside. So I got to start trusting what? The Course says, trust your purpose. I'm not saying trust my personality. It says you got to trust your purpose is love, that your purpose is really healing, that your purpose is to know true joy and happiness in your life right now. That's your purpose. Don't lose sight of your purpose. He says your purpose will create the conditions that allow your purpose to happen. What? He says your goal will actually create the circumstances that allow you to achieve it. And most people are focused on how they're going to achieve the goal, but they don't stay fixed on their intention or their goal. If they was to put, in other words, if you were to put as much energy into staying clear about your intention as you put in trying to figure out how to get what you want, you'd have it faster. So when things get hard, the Course in Miracles teaches that it's just because you become afraid of your own goal. That's why that's why all the obstacles show up. It says because you have become afraid of what you're asking for. So a part of you really doesn't want it. And what's an easier way to not have something than to have obstacles? So then if there are a lot of obstacles, what you must do is get clear about what do you want to happen in this situation. It means you need to go back to I need to get in touch with my intention more. And how do I know that my intention isn't clear yet? Because all I see is obstacles. I'm still trying to do it on my own. I'm still trying to make up my own way to get this done. Whew. And you know what? I'd rather focus on the purpose because I'm clearer about the purpose than I am about how to achieve it. So out of the two, I'd rather go with, I have the purpose of peace, I got the purpose of love, I got the purpose of joy, I got the purpose of joining. I'd rather focus in on that because that's easier than for me to go, now how am I going to have complete peace on every level in the world? See, notice that as soon as you get into the how, you go, blah, 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 blah. Right, but for me to say I want peace, I can say that, well, yeah. Now, how am I going to have it in every situation? See, it's the how that is creating the fear. It's the purpose that will create the how. The clearer you are about the purpose will begin to attract the people, the synchronicities, the circumstances, and the events that would allow that purpose to happen. So we walk away from here tonight, getting ready to go into 2012. If we were to walk away from here tonight with like, I've got the purpose of peace, I got the purpose of love, I got the purpose of knowing my innocence, I got the purpose of connecting, I got the purpose of being joyful, I got the purpose of waking up to who I really am, I got the purpose of remembering my relationship to God, I got the purpose of loving myself more, I got the purpose of letting go of the past. If we do that going into this next year, we'd be amazed at the miracles that would happen. And tell yourself, you'd rather be happy than to be right. Tell yourself you'd rather be happy than to be right. That's a huge one. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right about the way you're seeing it or do you want to be happy? That's the question that we should have right now. So, Happy New Year. And I want to acknowledge you. Could you acknowledge yourself whether you like you or not? Even if you think you don't, give it up for you. Because I know you deserve it. I'm going to do the love offering right now. Thank you for any donations that you share because the utility company doesn't accept hugs. I personally want to let go of that idea that things are supposed to happen for me without me giving anything. Without me giving what I want to receive. Ever since I started putting my classes on the internet, it's been really a trip. And one of the things that's really tripped me out the last week when I had a birthday was I got well over 100 and something wishes through my Facebook page and through people who watch these classes on YouTube. Because it's funny, the audience that I have is so much greater than what's in the room, which is always really funny, and so I got I got people that contact me and share it from Australia and Norway and Scotland and Ireland and Singapore. And it was just so gratifying to watch how spirit reaches people who need to be reached through what I'm doing. And the fact that we live in an age where a guy can sit up and prop a little cheap video camera up and say something and anyone in the world has access of it and it doesn't cost a dime, which gives you some idea of how we've evolved and how our minds are joining and how and people overlook stuff like that like it's ordinary. Isn't it funny that we live in a world with so many miracles around us that people just don't even think about, that you can reach so many people. So anyway, when I came in, there was an envelope under my door, and I looked at I glanced at it, I looked at the back of it, and it was a lady named Rose Welsh, and it was from Shikakuru Kuku, Tokyo, Japan. And it says, "To my favorite masked miracle man, happy holiday season. this is and she was nice enough to realize that I'm human and I have to eat like other people, so she put some money in there. And she said, "Happy holiday season. This is a little donation to say thank you for being such a great source of light and inspiration for me. In peace, Rose." And I think this is a drawing by her daughter, with this cute little girl on the back. But it's like that. That's so warmed my heart. To and what I'm saying is, you never know who you're affecting, and you never know who you affected. And so all the loving thoughts and energy that you've been putting out, it's going to come back to you greater than you gave it, and it's going to come back to you in the way you need it the most, and not necessarily in the way you gave it. And in 99% of the cases, it's not going to come back through the people you gave it to. So every ounce of love you put out there, every ounce of good energy you put out there, I'm telling you, it's barreling down on you. It's barreling down on you fast, and it's multiplied greater than when you gave it out. And your job right now is to get rid of every block in your mind and in your heart that would keep you from letting it in, that would make you sabotage it, that would make you block it. That's what we're supposed to be doing right now. Increasing our capacity to receive. So when it comes, you let it come. So I really want for each and every one of you the most incredible upcoming year of healing and light and love that you can possibly imagine.
All right, thank you.
I want happiness to happen to you that you didn't think of. I want answers to come to you that you didn't think of. I want solutions to happen in your life that's far beyond anything you could come up with. I want you to see miracles happen in your life this year. Don't believe that something can't happen just because of what anyone tells you or even what you tell yourself. You didn't create yourself. You're not alone. You're loved beyond your wildest dreams. So be it. Appreciate y'all. So have a good trip. Appreciate you. I love it. Hugs are available. I love hugs. I want to thank my visitors that came. I hope you have a safe trip back home.